What's up, everybody? It was a rough winter, and there's still snow melting quite a bit back, especially on the mountains. The ski resorts are closed, but it was a rough winter, and my lawn sat under a minimum of a foot of snow for 6 months. 6 months. Now, it's in interesting shape. After the snow melted, so I got back from being gone, most of the snow was gone, so over the last couple of days it has actually kind of melted off, and I've gotten to come up here and take a look. And the first thing that's always the most exciting is how much crap my kids left up here when they're playing in the snow. Shoes, squirt guns for some reason, Legos, you name it. Oh, there's all kinds of garbage up here. So I have to go through every spring and find all the garbage and look at it. But so I'm gonna talk mainly about condition first and then the plan. So snow came early last year, a lot of it, and I didn't actually have time to come through and do like a short mow on this, and it went to sleep with 5-6 inch tall grass. And so here's what that looks like right now. This is from last year. This was just regular top growth. This is not, you know, thatch buildup from a mower or anything else like that. This is just what it is. Now, this has provided a pretty good insulating layer, so I have no snow mold. I don't have anything like that. There's no disease present aside from what the rabbits and deer did. But I just want to show you how thick this is so you can kind of see what I'm dealing with here. And look what's underneath. Okay, so this is just goo. Straight up. Look at that. I mean, that is thick as hell. But what's going on underneath is green grass growing all around. It's pushing up through, so this has kept a very good insulating layer. And you can see all the rhizomes and everything just kind of in there working around. It's just, you know, this is going to be super thick in no time. Now, that insulating layer, see there's this hose right here. I want to show you this. I'm going to pull this away. Look at that green grass right in here. If anybody would like to take a guess on why that is, this is just because of heat. The hose itself is generating a little bit of heat, warming up the grass, and making that grow just like this. That's just from the heat of the sun hitting that hose and allowing the grass to grow. That's all that is. So I've got a pretty significant mat here to deal with. And I am going to do something fairly unique here. One of my good guys right here, I'm happy about that. A lot of earthworm activity going on. Actually, when I came up here the other day and pulled some back, earthworms were very busy at work, already starting to decay this. But I'm not gonna spray this with d-Thatch because my temperatures aren't gonna be warm enough to really make that effective for a while. So there he goes. He's heading down into his hole. Yep. There you go, little guy. It's a big, fat, juicy worm, huh? Oh, yeah. Look at you. So, I love seeing that. That's good. They're doing all the work out here. I'm actually going to take a significant amount of this material, and this area of the lawn is always very, very, very thick. So I don't really have much to worry about. But over here, behind me, if you guys remember or go back into the videos from last year, I had rabbits came, same thing, springtime, snow melted, rabbits came, ate the crap out of the backyard here. No different this year. It seems as though they were busy under the snow, burrowing around. And here, I'm just gonna show you. So, see all their crap everywhere, all through here. It is just a rabbit turd minefield. I am not happy with these guys even a little bit. So I had some voles come in as well last year. Looks like that's new. Didn't have those last year. So we'll deal with that in somewhat of a humane way. This will all be, I mean, even if I just left it and didn't do anything, it's gonna come up very thick and green pretty quick anyway. But there is something I'm going to do here. Because of all that rabbit crap and piss that they were doing, it's really burned down and thinned everything off. So I'm gonna be taking a lot of this material, this dead grass material, bringing it on over here, and I'm gonna create my own little carbon field. Now, not anything that I would recommend for most people, but I'm actually gonna do a burn and spread the ashes down through here. I'm gonna heat up all of this soil and kill off everything that was in there that could be causing damage. And this will all come back thick and green. And then we'll be doing another rabbit concoction to get them off of the yard this year. What we did last year worked pretty well for a long time. They didn't make a reappearance for at least about 3 months is when they started to come back in with the concoction I did, and that was only with 2 applications when I ended up throwing on that. This one I'm gonna keep a little more steady. So anyway, let's dig back in here. I mean, you can see just how saturated the ground is. It's just soaked, absolutely soaked. We've been just getting poured on with rain, snow still melting. This is just garbage. You know, obviously I'm not gonna be able to do a burn. There's another, see that little guy in there? Got earthworms everywhere. So they're busy. They are gonna break this down. And again, if I left it to its own devices, the earthworms will take care of most of this. They'll get through and just gnaw this stuff right out, chew it down. But I gotta let it dry out. I got a few days where it's going to be warm, just for a few days. We got another rain coming in, and then I will probably start working on this next week. I have so much wintertime snow melt garbage. There were other varmints that were feeding up here this year too. Good amounts of elk droppings were in the yard as well. There's a big elk herd that moves around here, and they just barely shed their antlers. I saw a couple yesterday morning, but they were coming in through the gate and like trampling down and bedding down in here and getting down into the, I don't think they ate any grass. They probably couldn't get to it because it was pretty thick, but they were back here because it was fairly protected. So this area, small little spot, gonna take care of that, treat it sort of as an independent thing. This is going to get nailed with aerate because now that it's been exposed like this without a whole lot of green grass from the rabbits just chewing the crap out of it, the ground is going to be a little bit harder, so I'm going to need to do some recovery on this section. I'm pretty much coming out of the gate this year with 1801 that I am going to be feeding weekly on this. 3 ounces. It's basically going to be Fert Dance Friday. Come out here and nail the whole thing with 3 ounces, 1,000 of 1801. Putting my RGS out soon, but I'm actually going to start the season with aerate. That's how we're going to do it this year. Start to get everything waking up a little bit sooner and move into aerate after that. But I'll have a schedule put together on this as we go on, because I'll be able to do a little workout here and get some good video throughout the season on how I do it, how I'm cutting the grass and all that kind of stuff. So in the meantime, a couple little tips and tricks for you. If you have a cool season lawn, and I don't think anybody's quite as extreme as this. I mean, this is going to take longer to green up than other people because the density of my lawn, the sheer density of it, actually keeps it from greening up faster. The thinnest spots, and this is what I want everybody to realize, the thinnest lawns green up the earliest. And that has a lot to do with just the sun and the soil temperatures coming up faster. When I'm holding this much moisture and I've got this much insulation, my ground stays cooler longer. So it's not going to wake up as fast. Now that coupled with the fact that my roots on this area here are pushing 12 to 18 inches deep. They're very deep, very massive. That's also down in a cooler zone too. So all of that's going to equate to a little slower green up. But if I wanted this to green up quick, and there's 2 sides to this, so I want everybody to take this with a grain of salt. I could start irrigating right now because the ground temperature of, the static temperature of the water is actually going to be much higher, maybe much higher, maybe 5 to 10 degrees warmer than the ground temperature right now. So if I wanted to, I could heat this up to a 58-degree soil temperature pretty quick. Problem with that is you're training the roots to be shallow. So if you were going to say, kick it out of dormancy fast, come in and get everything green and hop in, feed it, get it ready to go, you're gonna want at one point back off that water, give it a chance to stress out so that you can get your roots down a little bit deeper. So that's one way that you can kick a lawn off faster, is by irrigating earlier you're not doing anything to really, you know, saturate the plant because it's already, look, man, it's soaked, right? Like I can't put any more water to it, but I can raise the temperature. That's the point. So if you are in an area where you're dealing with this, that's fine. But again, you know, the greenest grass at this time of year coming out of dormancy is actually the thinnest, and those lawns tend to struggle the most in the heat of the summer. So sometimes that little slow slope up into green up is better because you're just going to get a lot more healthy turf later on. So anyway, that's what's going on here. I would say 2 to 3 weeks is probably about when this is going to look like it's in pretty good shape. Based on the way the weather pattern's looking, this will actually come along pretty good. So let's just go ahead and call this day one of the 2019 season here in the mountains of Utah. 7,000 feet, you know, things are a little bit different than most places. Anyway, if you've got questions about bluegrass or fescue, you're in this cool season coming out of dormancy time frame, hit me up, hit the comments below. Be more than happy to answer those. You know how to email me, answers@lawncology.com. We'll get on that, and yeah, you're gonna see a fun seasonal change out here. But in the meantime, I've got to clean up all my kids' garbage. I'll talk to y'all soon.